Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back. Just kidding.
No, she really does want to welcome you back.
Just kidding about the part.
Like she forgot her lines.
Yeah, I forgot my lines.
Well, if you want to learn more about us, you could come to evolutionaryenergyarts.com. You could read testimonials, which, we have a whole bunch more to add. We just haven't gotten around to doing that yet, but we're going to absolutely be updating it with even more. But, again, we've worked on hundreds, if not thousands of people all over the world. And again, it's not just the energy work and balancing chakras and biofield tuning. We do, again, Vedic astrology. And we could also act as a go-between with your spirit guides if you're having any issues there with the guardian angels that are around you all the time, or even loved ones that might have moved on. Often we can get in contact. So in Dubai, you pay with your smile. No card, no phone, just a camera, your face, and that's it. That's it. You just grab what you want to get. You just walk. Takes a picture. Gives you the bag. You're all good. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, that makes life easy. But why does it strike terror into the hearts of many people?
It certainly seems to do that, yes.
Could it be because there's a lack of faith and trust in, not just the Dubai government, but every single government in the world?
And then some.
Meanwhile, reports of a massive outage with card payment systems in several countries. Reports of people having trouble paying in Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Germany, and Greece. Could there be anything to do with the push towards a new currency? Possibly. And using technology that's just going to basically do retinal scans, thumb, fingerprints, or just take a photo of your face. There couldn't be any correlation between the old ways of doing things that many people are accustomed to and the fact that there's a new way coming, could there?
Well, what could possibly go wrong?
We shall see. Meanwhile, RFK Jr. just told the whole bunch of people over at the WHO to, no. Stick it where the sun don't shine. So he stood at the podium, stared down the global elite, and torched their plan. Whoa. Wow. Yes, absolutely. Said no to joining the WHO if there is another replay of what we saw again in 2020. There is positive signs. There's negative signs. There's very, very much good reason to be suspicious at everything that comes out, because as soon as we get one thing that's good, we'll get one or two big disappointments that, irritate us.
Well, that seems to happen continually.
Absolutely. The Clear Skies Act has been filed. This is at federal level. Again, we've seen numerous states say no geoengineering, nope, no weather modification allowed, but this is at the federal level. And what if it keeps happening?
I know. It's one of those things where it kind of makes you feel like you're not being heard.
Good old David Icke, are you getting it yet? Robots can pick apples. It's time to automate America's farms. Automation, not amnesty. Okay. Yeah, automation. Well, again, this is a complete turning. We've been told that we're in the middle of a great redo. Yeah, and I've had visions of the automation coming from around 83 to 85. I started to get them in visions and dreams and stuff I just didn't understand at all. But boy, I do now completely. And sometimes it takes time to understand what's manifesting. This is from 2016, this particular encounter. This was showing a circular orb draining energy. At least it felt like it was draining energy, maybe recharging its batteries, so to speak. Some sort of gigantic alien mothership, monster UFO, more monster UFOs, monsters, circling the sun and drawing energy. This has happened more than once, and we've seen correlations with ships I feel they use the sun as a portal, and it's a dimensional gateway. Yet there's also ships that have been seen recharging their batteries or something near the sun. Well, Mr. MBB, one of his subscribers, just sent another video in showing, again, very, very similar, some sort of gigantic circular object that seems to be interacting with the sun's energy.
It does feel very, very strange. I'm having trouble picking up the vibration of it, and I think that's mostly because I believe it's more of an insectoid type of energy. It feels a little creepy. It kind of feels like an egg. Kind of feels like there's more. But I can't necessarily say that it's bad, but it is has a very unusual vibration to it.
Yeah, there's been so many things over the years that we've seen, too many to keep track of. Lots of things like this where people are filming from inside the plane, something's following them. Again, you could do a week-long, 24-hour like marathon live stream, and you'll never cover all the different pieces of information that exist there about the fact that, let's say, ultra-terrestrials, because I like that term. Ultra-terrestrial, it certainly means extraterrestrial. It can also absolutely be interdimensional beings with, higher technology. It could be an Earth being. It could cover the whole gambit. Beings that are in other sections living right here, on this planet, but just in places that are off limits for humans. Again, when you start looking at some of these accounts, you'll see that they certainly seem to be very, very, there's a lot of different varieties. They come in all shapes and sizes. Some things are clearly mechanical. Other things don't appear to be mechanical. Feel to be plasma, really, some sort of plasma light being. And then, of course, we also have the technology now to make amazing fake videos. Yes, AI, obviously that's in there too. Here you have, this was off of Florida Turnpike heading south. That's really cool. And then, of course, we also have, that looks like a big S. Is a big S for Superman? Or S-Mart. Come buy your own very personalized drone at S-Mart. Do you remember that? S-Mart? Does alien life, parallel universes, multiverses exist? Well, if you look to the Vedic cosmological science, yes, all of the above. They had everything right. Everything has been very accurately given to us in the Vedas, which are probably the oldest writings we really have. Again, they go far, far back in our history, remembering events that perhaps were things that were transpiring in the invasion that happened after the Younger Dryas and the battles of the Asuras and the Devas. But what you have too there is the understanding of the shape of the galaxy that we're in, as well as how the universe works on a big scale with dimensions. The idea of a multiverse, an infinite number of universes, is something that's there. Lokas of all varieties, and lokas are worlds. And so the knowledge that, and at different vibrational rates, different densities, you'll encounter completely new worlds to explore. And there's an infinite number of them. And it also is clearly stated that many beings came from out there to here. The good ones we called devas, and the bad ones we called asuras. And, it's easy also to look and see the connections, as really, I think the ones that we call asuras, well, those are exactly the ones that came here with the mindset of enslaving humans and ruling over them. But it's more than just the history. It's the understanding of the many worlds interpretation. Each universe branches into a bunch of new universes. Every time a quantum measurement is made, all possibilities are therefore realized. In fact, it's impossible that, given the history that we've been given, you would encounter this type of wisdom and genius if it wasn't for ultra-terrestrials. It just doesn't make any logical sense. And the thing is, in the past, they knew that we weren't alone because they saw them every freaking day. That's the bottom line. And you can't tell somebody something doesn't exist when you've seen it with your own eyes. Oh no, I'm going to trust the writings of this rich organization over here that's got every interest in maintaining their control over the entire paradigm on Earth. I'm not going to trust what I saw. I mean, how logical is that? And when you look to the Padma Purana, look at 8,400,000 life form species, and it gives you breakdowns as to, the type of species, aquatic, trees and plants. And then not only that, but it ends up even talking about how many humanoid beings exist in our section of space. And, there's hundreds of thousands of them. So it understands also that everything really, truly is but a dream. These are worlds within worlds, realities within realities. Karma is very real, and that truly is the currency of this reality, and in that kind of guides the soul in the bigger scheme of things. And it's just amazing. Everything is there. There is so much wisdom there. It's just mind-blowing. But if you look too into other traditions, you'll see that there is evidence from other places. How about Alexander the Great? You remember? So we're talking Greece. Theory suggests that UFOs aided Alexander the Great during his military campaigns, notably during the siege of Tyre, of all places, and while crossing into India. These ideas have emerged from folklore and popular culture. Often dismissed by historians, they say due to lack of evidence, because the system has done a good job at hiding all the evidence, blowing it to bits in never-ending wars, and rewriting the history as we go. The reality is, they can't get all the evidence. And it's documented that they saw ships up in the sky. So, was there a group of ultra-terrestrials that wanted to make sure that Alexander won? Was there a group of ultra-terrestrials that wanted to make sure that he lost? Yeah, well, look to Deuteronomy, and you see the Song of Moses there talks about dividing humanity up by these heavenly beings. Yeah, and it really is just a much, much smaller version of Plato's speech to Critias, which, again, predates it by hundreds of years. It is absolutely the case that tribes of humans were claimed by different ultra-terrestrials. So they play their games, they wage their wars, and this is nothing new. This has been going on for all of our lives here. Probably the whole history of Homo sapiens has been under this type of situation in this age, in this go-round. And thankfully, we are again out of the dark age, and all that really means is we understand what's going on a lot better than we did just a generation ago. The U.S. signed a deal with Alien Galactic Federation, this is from Russia Today, to experiment on humans, claims Israeli ex-military space chief in bizarre interview. Haim Eshed, he's 87 at the time of this, which was 5 years ago now, just about. So, he 92 at this point in time. If he's still with us, I'm not sure. But he came straight out there and verified the Galactic Federation, verified different deals between, political agents here on Earth and ultra-terrestrials. And, again, this is part of some of their entertainment is to wage these wars on humanity. They're not all like this. Again, this is what is done by the group that's called Asuras in the Hindu tradition, which we can also say is very much demonic. But you could see This was a big topic, and the mentioning by the defense minister of Israel that the Galactic Federation is real, that there are agreements in place between, again, heads of state and non-Homo sapiens. This is huge. But, you can go down the line. Paul Hellyer in Canada, another official. There's been tons of them. We've had our disclosure. The only thing is that some people just can't handle the truth. But, again, if you're open-minded and you're willing to look at everything that's out there, and then also learn how to feel and sense into things. So for Cindy and I, we've always known this is the case.
And you have to leave enough room for yourself to be wrong, until when you go back through and look at everything you've learned in the past, and you look at all the evidence, and when things no longer add up, you really have to start asking, is everything I learned, is this true or is it false? And it takes a lot to step back and say that maybe you were wrong. Maybe there's some information that is not true, because that's directly tied into the ego. So it is very hard to step back and say, almost everything I was taught is a lie. And then you have to put yourself in the position to learn everything new again based on what you believe, not what's in these other books. Although books are really good, they carry a lot of good information, but the information should add up. It should make sense. So when it stops making sense, that's where we really have to look into things.
Yeah, again, the war was waged a long time ago. It's still ongoing against the truth and against the, exposing to humans the reality of the situation. When you have very, very controversial people that take incarnation and try to change the paradigm, again, the great teachers, and what does the system do? It finds ways to cause division. When these great spiritual teachers like Yeshua, like Buddha, and we could go on, are coming here for the express purpose of breaking down divisive dogmas and having us find the truth and the core of things. And the very, very simple message that, the Beatles gave, all you need is love. That's ultimately it. That really is. When we operate from compassion and understanding and have patience with each other, then we can really, truly move mountains. And, maybe this little guy will find somebody that will want to play with him, or maybe he prefers his game by his own rules. We are each unique fractals of the one source of all. And so, that uniqueness is really the whole point of things.
Indeed.
As always, guys, thanks for your support on Patreon, Ko-Fi, and also with memberships. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.